Hi, Greg Bruntz with Nortec Global HVAC's Technical Service Department. Today I'm going to demonstrate how to properly set up the PVC piping and condensate drains on our residential series condensing furnaces. The 95% single stage, 95% two-stage come from the factory set up to vent through the right side of the cabinet. The inducer can be rotated to allow the furnace to vent through the left side of the furnace cabinet. The 95% single stage and the 95% two-stage upflow condensing furnaces can be installed horizontal right and horizontal left. Alright, now let's take a look. Just for the ease of the video, I want you guys to realize you do need to put all the gaskets around. This is the gasket that seals around the cabinet on the exhaust pipe. The only reason I'm not putting them on there is just to speed up being able to show you all the different configurations of how to lay out the flue pipes and the drains. A couple things I want to point out here is I would recommend that this inline drain assembly right here be installed every time you're coming out the right hand side. There's specifications in the installation instructions of when that's actually required or not, but in my opinion you can't over drain the flue, so it's not going to hurt to just go ahead and always put that on there. We give you the parts in the extra parts bag to do it anyway. Coming out the side, this PVC-T comes with the 95% because you have to come out the side of the cabinet, and this trap assembly, and you do need to terminate that drain. This is your trap, so don't trap this hose. And then you run your drain from your P-trap assembly also. Both of those would terminate and go to your sewer. You can manifold those together because it's after the trap. And again, as I said before, we can go from vinyl to PVC rather quickly wherever you want to set up your drains if you want to do it that way. You can get CPVC fittings and you can CPVC pipe off of this and down and not use any vinyl drain here if that's what you choose to do, because this piping coming off this trap assembly will have to be field supplied. This is the configuration setup that you would see coming out the right hand side of the furnace. So just like the installation instructions show, I wanted to show this alternative method of when you're coming out the right hand side of the furnace. We have to have a drain on the flue. That's what the whole purpose of this T is. But rather than deadheading the side of that T as I showed you just previously, you can vent through the T and drain off the branch of the T into your trap assembly, and then use an elbow to turn your flue up rather than using the T to turn your flue up. This is going to be more less restrictive with your flue piping as far as restriction in the flue gases flowing through the pipe. Okay, another alternative method I wanted to show you is you can put 245s in the flue before you get to your T. The purpose for doing this is if you had a return duct here coming up against the side of the furnace and it's keeping you from being able to fit that T and everything in there. So what I recommend we do is use a couple 45s. We can get it out in front of that return duct, and then you can continue with your flue piping after that. And you don't have to have it this long. This was just a quick mock-up to show you how you could get around a return duct or something like that to get that flue pipe out in front of the furnace a little more. And actually you could even use a 90 here, and a 90 as long as you're calculating it into your fittings and to kick it way out in front of the furnace if you absolutely had to. But I would recommend just using 245s because that's going to be equivalent to 190 to try and kick it out in front of a return duct or something like that. And then you allow yourself to still be able to get the flue pipe coming out the right-hand side of the furnace if there's something in your way on this right-hand side. And you can do this on the left-hand side if you needed to also. So just wanted to give you a couple alternative methods to making sure we get this T included into our flue. So coming out the left-hand side of the cabinet, and again this can be done on any of our furnace models, I just wanted to show you that I was able to redo the drain coming off of the hard J trap in the bottom of the furnace, bringing it over on this side. Your flue to the T, and then alternate methods I showed you, all that still plays the same role. You can do it the same way. You can manifold these drains together now because they're after the traps. But the other thing I do want to point out here is the inline drain on the inside of the furnace. As you can see, that inline drain fitting, I capped it because as the installation instructions show you, as long as the dimension between the side of the T and the side of the cabinet is less than 6 feet, and we drain towards the T, and you can see this pipe clearly sloping towards this T, you don't need that inline drain assembly. But as you come out the right-hand side of the furnace, like I showed you earlier, that's why I say always hook up that inline drain assembly, because coming out that right-hand side, it's not as easy to get the flue to slope towards the T. So left side, you're probably not going to need it. Right side, I'd always recommend putting it on there. So this is your side termination for an upflow configuration. Hope you found this video useful. Thanks for tuning in.